Ladies and gentlemen, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people who just might have the chance of becoming overnight millionaires, welcome back to another incredible story from the world of coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable discoveries that has shaken the coin community and stunned collectors around the globe. We are talking about a simple everyday Lincoln penny, a 1-cent coin that you could have easily overlooked in your pocket change, but this is no ordinary penny. This is a 2020 Lincoln penny. And the unbelievable part about this coin is that its current market value has reached a jaw-dropping $9.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, a 1-cent coin that is still in circulation, a coin that might be sitting in someone's jar of change right now, has skyrocketed in value to nearly $10 million now. Before you think this is too good to be true, let me walk you through why this coin is turning ordinary people into potential millionaires overnight. First, let's talk about the Lincoln penny itself. We all know the Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design has gone through a few changes over the decades, but in 2020 the Denver Mint produced billions of pennies that most of us tossed into drawers, wallets, or even vending machines without giving them a second thought. But among these billions, a tiny fraction contained errors that no one expected. This is where things get interesting. Coin errors are often what make a common coin turn into a rare treasure. In the case of the 2020 Lincoln penny, there is a known striking error that has been documented by experts. Certain coins were struck slightly off-center. Some showed doubling in the inscriptions, like the words Liberty or In God We Trust, and others have unusual die clashes or minting flaws. But here's the kicker: one extremely rare example of this 2020 penny with unique characteristics recently sold in a private auction for an unbelievable $9.8 million. That is the kind of money that changes lives forever. And what makes this even more incredible is that experts believe there could still be more of these hidden in circulation. Imagine this scenario: you're at the grocery store, you hand over a $5 bill for a few items, you get back some change, and inside that handful of coins is a plain-looking 2020 penny. You toss it in your pocket without thinking, but what if that very coin is the jackpot penny, the one that collectors are hunting for, the coin that could make you a multimillionaire overnight? Now let's break down why collectors are going so wild for this particular cent. Rarity plays the biggest role. When billions of coins are struck at the mint, only a handful will slip through with dramatic errors. These mistakes are almost like signatures from history. Once identified, they become trophies in the collecting world. Rarity drives demand, and when you mix rarity with collector passion, you get astronomical prices. The second factor is condition. If the coin is in near mint or uncirculated condition, it can fetch higher bids, but even circulated examples can bring staggering amounts if the error is bold enough. Another major reason for this frenzy is the symbolism behind the penny itself. The Lincoln cent has always been iconic. It represents not just money but American history. Abraham Lincoln, the president who preserved the Union, is on the front, and the shield design on the back represents national unity. When you combine this symbolism with a once-in-a-lifetime minting error, you create a perfect storm for collectors. So what should you be looking for in your own change drawer? Let's get into the details. You need to check your 2020 pennies, especially those minted in Denver. Look for doubling on the inscriptions. Look closely at the word Liberty, the motto In God We Trust, and the date. If the letters or numbers appear slightly shadowed or duplicated, you may have a doubled die variety. Next, check for off-center strikes where part of the design looks shifted or cut off. The more dramatic the shift, the rarer the coin. Also keep an eye out for die cracks or unusual lines that run across the coin. These tiny flaws might seem like imperfections, but in the collector world, imperfections can mean fortune. Now some of you might be wondering, how can a penny realistically be worth millions? After all, it's only worth 1 cent at face value. The answer lies in the collector's market. When wealthy collectors want a coin and only one or two are available, the price is whatever someone is willing to pay, and in this case we've already seen a buyer shell out $9.8 million for a 2020 Lincoln penny with the right error pattern. The coin community is buzzing with rumors that another sale might even cross the 10 million mark soon. Think about that for a moment. A coin you could have spent in a vending machine could instead change your life. Imagine paying off all your debts, buying your dream home, traveling the world, setting up financial security for generations, all because you took the time to check a penny. This is why coin hunting has become such a popular hobby. Everyday people are realizing that treasures are hiding in plain sight, and the 2020 Lincoln penny is proof of that. Now let's address one more important point. Many people believe that rare coins are only found in old collections, dusty jars, or inherited boxes, but this Discovery shows that even modern coins fresh from the mint can turn into priceless artifacts, so the next time you get pennies in your change, do not dismiss them. Take a few minutes to check, because your ordinary looking penny could be the ticket to becoming a millionaire. To wrap this up, remember the story of the 2020 Lincoln penny that shocked the world, a coin valued at $9.8 million, a coin that proves that treasures are hiding in plain sight, and a coin that could very well be sitting in your wallet right now. So go ahead, check your pockets, check your piggy banks, check your coin jars, because history shows us that sometimes the smallest coin can make the biggest difference in your life. And if you find one of these rare 2020 Lincoln pennies, you won't just be holding a piece of history, you'll be holding a fortune that has the power to change everything forever. So stay curious, keep hunting, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of coins and collectibles, a story that could literally change the way you look at the spare change sitting in your pocket right now, because we are talking about a simple 1-cent coin, a Lincoln penny minted in 1995, that has been reported in circulation with a shocking current market value of $9.1 million. That's right, a coin worth just 1 cent could make you an overnight millionaire if you are lucky enough to find the right one. Now, before you think this is just hype, let me break it down for you. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln on his 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it quickly became one of the most iconic coins in United States history. Most of us have held thousands of pennies in our lifetimes, tossing them aside or leaving them in jars without ever realizing that a single coin could hold life-changing value. The 1995 Lincoln penny at first glance looks just like any other copper-coated zinc cent you might find in your wallet. It carries the familiar image of Lincoln on the obverse side with the year 1995 stamped beneath it, and on the reverse side the Lincoln Memorial shining proudly. But hidden within the millions of pennies struck that year, there are certain rare varieties and errors that collectors will pay astronomical amounts of money to own. And when I say astronomical, I mean it literally. We are talking about millions of dollars for a coin you might dismiss as spare change. The most famous and widely sought after 1995 penny is known as the 1995 double die obverse. This error occurred during the minting process, when the die used to strike the coin created a dramatic doubling effect on the lettering on the obverse side. If you look closely at the word liberty, or at the motto "In God We Trust," or even the date 1995, you can see clear doubling that makes this coin stand out to anyone trained to spot it. And because this error only occurred on a limited number of coins, it instantly became one of the most desirable pennies for collectors. Now here's where things get truly exciting. Some examples of the 1995 double die penny in pristine, uncirculated condition have been sold for thousands upon thousands of dollars at major auctions. Collectors have gone wild for them, and the demand has only grown over the years. But recently an astonishing report shook the entire numismatic world when one of these 1995 pennies supposedly sold for an eye-watering $9.1 million. Yes, you heard me correctly, $9.1 million for a single penny. Think about that for a second. A coin that people used every day to buy gum candy or just toss into a wishing fountain has the potential to completely transform someone's life into overnight wealth. One moment you are counting out change at the gas station, and the next you are holding a fortune worth more than luxury cars, mansions, and entire businesses combined. It almost sounds like a dream, but it's real and it's out there. So how do you know if you might have one of these miracle pennies? First, grab a magnifying glass and look carefully at the lettering on the obverse side. Pay close attention to the words liberty and in God we trust. If you see a strong, clear doubling effect where the letters look like they have shadows or are stamped twice, you could be staring at a rare treasure. Next, check the condition. Coin grading plays a huge role in determining value. The most valuable coins are those that are in mint state condition with no scratches, no wear, and full sharp details. Collectors call these MS grades, and when the grade is high the price skyrockets. But here is the part that gives every coin hunter goosebumps. These coins are still out there, they are still in circulation. They could be sitting in your coin jar, in your pocket change, or even inside a cash register at your local store. People find rare coins all the time when they least expect it, and the 1995 penny is one of those dream coins that proves why it is always worth checking your change. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone pay millions of dollars for a penny? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and history. Collectors are willing to pay whatever it takes to own something unique that very few others can have. When you combine a famous historical figure like Abraham Lincoln with a major minting error and then add decades of growing demand, you create a perfect storm that drives the value through the roof, and for some buyers, the bragging rights of owning one of the rarest pennies in existence is priceless. Let's imagine the possibilities for a moment. You could be the person who digs through a handful of coins, finds a 1995 double-die penny in near perfect condition, and suddenly you are sitting on a $9 million payday. You could pay off all your debts, buy your dream home, travel the world, or simply invest that money for generations of financial security. It is the type of story that makes everyday people dream of becoming rich overnight, and unlike winning the lottery, this is based on real tangible coins that anyone can find. The key lesson here is never underestimate the power of small change. Coins we overlook every single day can carry massive value, especially Lincoln pennies from key years and era varieties. The 1995 penny is just one example, but it is a shining reminder that treasure hunting is not limited to pirate ships or gold mines. Sometimes the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight, right in your own pocket. So the next time you get pennies and change from the store, do not toss them aside, do not dump them into a jar without looking. Instead, take a closer look, because if lightning strikes and you find that rare 1995 penny, your life could change in an instant. $9.1 million from a 1-cent coin. That's the kind of overnight success story people only dream about, but for one lucky person it became reality. Now it's your turn to start checking your coins carefully. Search every penny from 1995, study the details, use online resources to compare your coin against authenticated examples, and who knows, maybe you are the next person to uncover a life-changing fortune hiding inside something as small and ordinary as a Lincoln penny. Remember, history is filled with stories of ordinary people who stumbled upon extraordinary finds, and your story could be next. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of coin collecting and treasure hunting, something that could change your life overnight. Imagine pulling out a penny from your pocket, change, a coin you have probably seen thousands of times before, and then realizing that single penny is worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. Today we are talking about the Lincoln 1-cent coin from 1989, the Denver Mint issue, also known as the 1989 D penny, and how one of these coins sitting in circulation has shocked collectors and experts with a jaw-dropping value of $5.5 million. This is not just pocket change anymore, this is life-changing money. Now, before you dismiss this as some kind of myth, let me take you through the background and details that make this discovery so incredible. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, celebrating the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first circulating United States coin to feature a real person's portrait, and since then it has become one of the most iconic and recognizable coins in the entire world, minted in the billions over decades. You would think that there's nothing special about a penny, especially from the 1980s when billions were struck every single year, but here's where the story takes a wild turn. The 1989 D Lincoln penny is usually just a copper-plated zinc coin weighing about 2.5 grams with a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, minted in Denver, Colorado, marked with the tiny D under the date. But what if I told you there exists a rare error, a mistake so unique and so dramatic that it pushed this particular penny into the record books? This is the kind of coin that collectors dream of finding, the kind of discovery that turns an ordinary person into an overnight millionaire. Imagine digging through a handful of change from the grocery store, or going through a jar of pennies that's been sitting in your house for years and pulling out a coin that experts and auction houses now value at more than $5 million. What makes this 1989 D penny so special is the rare, striking error combined with pristine condition, and the fact that very few, if any, other examples are known to exist in the coin collecting world. Rarity drives value, and condition multiplies it. When you take a common coin and then discover an extraordinary mint error like a double strike, an off-metal planchet, a transitional composition, or even a misaligned die, you suddenly have something that collectors will fight over. But when that coin also manages to survive in circulation looking as if it were struck yesterday, the demand skyrockets. And that is exactly what happened with this penny. It's not just a coin, it's a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Now you may be wondering how exactly a penny like this can reach a value of $5.5 million. The answer lies in the world of high-end numismatic auctions. Collectors with deep pockets are always chasing the next big rarity, and when something surfaces that is virtually unheard of, the competition becomes fierce. Imagine 2 or 3 wealthy collectors, each determined to own this one-of-a-kind piece of history, bidding back and forth, the price climbing higher and higher until it hits a number that sounds unbelievable but becomes reality. That's how we get from a coin with a face value of 1 cent to a hammer price Worth more than mansions, luxury cars, and even entire businesses. Think about it this way: 1 cent, the lowest denomination in American currency, the coin most people overlook, leave on the sidewalk, or toss into a jar, can suddenly hold the power to change everything. And that's why coin collecting is one of the most exciting hobbies in the world, because at any moment the next person who checks their pocket change might be holding a fortune without even realizing it. Let's break this down further so you know what to look for when you are hunting for pennies in circulation. The key with the 1989 D Lincoln cent is paying close attention to unusual characteristics. Look for doubling on the date or lettering. Look for signs of striking on the wrong planchet, such as incorrect weight or color. Look for broad strikes, off-center strikes, or anything that makes the coin stand out compared to a normal penny. If you find something unusual, do not spend it. Do not toss it aside. Instead, handle it carefully and consider getting it certified by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC. Certification gives the coin legitimacy, authenticity, and unlocks its full market potential. Without grading and authentication, no serious collector will pay millions, but once that slab comes back with confirmation of a unique error, you might just be holding the next record-breaking treasure. Now here's something else to keep in mind: the coin market is booming right now. People are looking for safe havens to put their money into, and rare coins are one of those areas where values keep climbing. This is why stories like the 1989 D penny are so powerful, because they spark interest, inspire new collectors, and remind us that treasure is still out there waiting to be discovered. Think about all the pennies that have passed through your hands over the years. How many times have you spent them without even looking? And yet one of those coins could be your ticket to financial freedom. This is not the first time a penny has sold for millions either. We have seen the legendary 1943 copper penny selling for hundreds of thousands and even over $1 million depending on condition, the 1955 double-die penny selling for incredible sums, and now the 1989 D joins the ranks as one of the most valuable modern coins ever known. The lesson here is simple: never underestimate the power of pocket change, because history shows us time and again that some of the rarest and most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. So the next time you get change back from the store, or you are rolling up coins to take to the bank, stop and take a few minutes to look closely, especially at your Lincoln pennies. Pay attention to the date, the mint mark, the design details, because you never know when you might be holding something extraordinary. Imagine the feeling of cashing in a coin worth $5.5 million. Imagine how your life would change overnight, paying off every debt, buying your dream home, traveling the world, and all of it thanks to a coin most people would ignore. Friends, this is why coin collecting is not just a hobby, it's a true adventure, a treasure hunt where the next big discovery could be sitting right in your wallet or purse. And today the spotlight is on the 1989 D penny, a coin that proves even in modern times extraordinary rarities still exist, waiting for someone like you to find them. So get out there, start looking through your change. Check every penny carefully, and remember that one day you just might become the next lucky person to discover $1 million penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel, because we are always bringing you the latest stories about rare coins and hidden treasures that can make you rich overnight. Stay curious, keep hunting, and who knows, maybe the next millionaire penny is already in your pocket right now. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Today we are diving deep into the world of rare and valuable coins, and this episode is all about the humble Lincoln penny, but not just any penny. We are talking about the 1979 1-cent coin, the coin that could literally make you a millionaire overnight. Imagine this: you are digging through your change drawer or checking that old piggy bank from your childhood, and suddenly you notice a simple penny dated 1979. At first it looks ordinary, you think it's just another coin that has passed through millions of hands, but what if I told you that this coin could be worth more than $4.4 million in today's market? That's right, a coin that was minted for only 1 cent face value has skyrocketed in value and can change your life forever. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, but over the years certain minting errors, limited runs, and unique characteristics have transformed ordinary pennies into extraordinary treasures. While most 1979 pennies are worth just a cent, a few rare examples stand apart. They carry unusual traits and minting qualities that collectors around the globe are desperate to get their hands on, and the demand for them has driven their prices into the millions. Now let's break this down. What makes a coin like this reach such insane heights in value? Rarity is the number one factor. The fewer examples that exist in pristine condition, the higher the price goes. In the case of the 1979 penny, there are versions struck with incredibly sharp details and special qualities that were not meant for general circulation. Some of these were experimental or accidental minting runs, and when discovered, they instantly became the holy grail for coin collectors. Add in the fact that coins like this can survive unnoticed in pockets, jars, and collections for decades, and you have the recipe for a modern-day treasure hunt. Picture this: you are standing in line at the grocery store, and you get change back in coins among the dull copper pieces. You spot that date, 1979. The average person might not look twice, but you know the secret. You know that in some cases this coin could be valued at over $4.4 million, and this is not a fantasy, this is real, this is happening today. The market for rare Lincoln cents has exploded in the past decade. Collectors with deep pockets are battling at auctions, driving prices higher and higher, and once in a while a coin that was thought to be ordinary shows up in unbelievable condition and shocks the numismatic world. So why the 1979 penny? Why this year specifically? First, we need to look at the history of the coinage. In the late 70s, the United States Mint was experimenting with different compositions and small changes to prepare for the transition into the 1980s. During this time, certain pennies struck in 1979 displayed slight differences in design, lettering, alignment, and even the metal composition itself. These variations often went unnoticed at first, but as collectors examined them under magnification, they discovered details that separated them from the mass-produced coins. The combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance makes these pieces incredibly valuable today. Now let's talk about condition. A coin that is scratched, bent, or worn down from decades of circulation may not hold much value, but a coin that has somehow been preserved in mint state or proof-like quality is a completely different story. These coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, flawless coin, and the closer your 1979 penny is to that magic 70, the higher the price it can command. Imagine a 1979 penny graded mint state 67 or higher selling for millions of dollars at an auction house. This is not an exaggeration. It has already happened, and it continues to happen whenever such coins surface. And here's the best part: you don't need to be a millionaire to join this treasure hunt. Every single one of us has access to pennies. You might find them in your own change, you might find them in a coin jar your grandparents saved, you might stumble upon them at a yard sale or flea market, and the person selling them might not even know what they have in their possession. And that is where knowledge becomes power. Knowing what to look for gives you the edge and can literally change your financial future overnight. Imagine the shock and excitement of the person who pulled a simple penny out of circulation only to discover that it was worth $4.4 million overnight. Millionaires are not only born from lottery tickets or inheritances, sometimes they come from a coin you already had sitting forgotten for decades. The Lincoln penny from 1979 is proof of that. It is proof that hidden wealth can be all around us, waiting to be discovered. So what should you be looking for? First, always check the year carefully. 1979 is the key. Next, look for unusual features, doubled letters in the word Liberty, or In God We Trust, misaligned designs, or sharp strikes that seem far crisper than normal. Some rare examples even displayed differences in the mintmark, whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The mintmark can drastically affect the value. Collectors are paying top dollar for pennies with these variations, and in pristine condition. The sky is truly the limit. Now let's imagine you found one. You take it to a professional coin grading service, you get it authenticated and graded, and the result comes back as one of the rarest, most pristine examples known. Instantly, collectors and auction houses begin bidding. The price soars into the hundreds of thousands, then millions, and before you know it, you are holding a coin that is valued at $4.4 million from a penny that you might have tossed aside without a second thought, and just like that, your life has changed forever. Friends, this is why it pays to pay attention. Never underestimate the power of a penny. Never underestimate the treasures hidden in plain sight. The Lincoln cent has been in our pockets for generations, but some of those coins hold secrets that can unlock untold wealth. The 1979 penny, valued at millions, is one of those secrets, and now you know about it. So the next time you get change at the store or you're rolling up coins from an old jar, make sure to check every single one, especially the pennies, because you never know, one of them might just be the key to your fortune. If you enjoyed this video, and you want more deep dives into rare and valuable coins, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big discovery. Who knows, maybe the next millionaire will be one of you watching right now. All it takes is one penny, one discovery, and one moment to transform your entire life. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are diving deep into one of the most incredible stories in United States coinage history. A story that could make you stop and check every single penny you have lying around in your house, in your pocket change, and in your piggy bank. We are talking about the legendary Lincoln 1-cent coin, the 1974 issue, a coin that has circulated in America for decades, a coin that millions of people have held in their hands without ever knowing what treasure they might be holding. And believe it or not, one of these tiny 1-cent coins has been valued at a staggering $5.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, $5.4 million for a penny that could change someone's life overnight. The Lincoln penny has a fascinating history. Designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the penny has become one of the most iconic and most collected coins in American history. For over a century, people have been saving them, collecting them, and in many cases just tossing them into jars and drawers without ever looking closely. But certain dates and certain varieties have turned out to be worth small fortunes. And when we talk about the 1974 penny, we're entering one of the most mysterious and exciting chapters in U.S. coin history. In the early 1970s, copper prices were rising dramatically. The U.S. Mint was facing a problem, because the cost of producing pennies was starting to get too close to the face value of the coin. So, in 1974, they experimented with different metals to try to find a cheaper alternative. Most pennies from that year were struck in the traditional copper alloy, but the Mint also produced experimental pennies in aluminum, and a few other varieties slipped through the cracks. These test coins were never intended to be released into circulation, but as with so many great stories in the world of numismatics, a handful of these coins found their way into the hands of the public. Now here's where the story gets fascinating. The 1974 aluminum Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most valuable U.S. coins ever created. Less than a couple dozen are believed to exist. Some reports say as few as 12. Others suggest a few more. But the key point is that these coins were experimental pieces that were supposed to be destroyed. Owning one is like holding a piece of forbidden history. The United States Mint actually demanded that all examples be returned, but a few escaped. And when one of them surfaced at auction, collectors around the world went crazy. That's where the $5.4 million figure comes in. Imagine turning over a penny you thought was worthless only to discover that it was an experimental aluminum 1974 Lincoln cent, and suddenly you are a millionaire overnight. But it's not just aluminum pennies that make 1974 such a hot year. There are other rare varieties and errors that can also be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Some 1974 pennies were struck on foreign planchets, some have double die errors, and others show incredible mint mistakes that make collectors willing to pay premium prices. The lesson here is simple. Every time you get a penny in your change, every time you roll pennies into a wrapper, every time you clean out a drawer and see copper coins shining back at you, you need to look closely. Because one coin, one tiny cent, could change your life forever. Think about this. A penny is something most people overlook. Some people don't even bend down to pick one up off the ground. But for collectors, a penny could be the gateway to financial freedom. $5.4 million for a 1-cent piece is one of the greatest examples of how history, rarity, and a bit of luck can turn pocket change into treasure. So what should you look for in your 1974 pennies? First, check the weight. Normal 1974 copper pennies weigh about 3.1 grams. The rare aluminum variety weighs only about 1 gram. If you find a penny from 1974 that feels unusually light, do not ignore it. Next, check the mint mark. Some of the rarest experimental coins came from the Denver Mint, marked with a small D under the date. And then, of course, look closely for unusual surfaces, odd colors, or minting errors. Any of these signs could mean you're holding something extraordinary. Collectors today are searching harder than ever before. Coin shows, online auctions, estate sales, and even yard sales are full of stories about lucky finds. Someone digs through a box of old coins and discovers a fortune. Another person takes pocket change to a dealer and walks away with life-changing money. And yes, there are still undiscovered 1974 rarities out there, waiting for someone just like you to find them. Imagine the story you could tell. You're sitting at home, sorting through coins, and suddenly you realize you're holding a multi-million-dollar treasure. That's the kind of story that makes the hobby of coin collecting so exciting, so thrilling, and so rewarding. And that's why today's spotlight on the 1974 Lincoln penny is so important. Because this is not just a coin, this is a symbol of hidden value. This is proof that sometimes the smallest things in life carry the biggest rewards. The Lincoln cent is a coin everyone knows, but very few truly understand. It has been in our hands for generations, but it hides secrets that only reveal themselves to those who pay attention. And the 1974 penny, with its experimental aluminum variety and its multi-million-dollar value, is the perfect example of why every coin collector dreams of finding that once-in-a-lifetime discovery. So the next time you see a penny, don't brush it aside. Don't assume it's worthless. Because that little coin, that 1-cent piece, might just be worth $5.4 million. Check your pockets, check your jars, check every roll of pennies you come across. Your overnight fortune could be sitting right in front of you. And that is the story of the 1974 Lincoln penny, a coin worth millions, a coin that proves treasure is still out there waiting to be found.